5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a breath. Let's dive in. Uncle Danny!
Oh, geez, here we go again.
No, I'm excited.
You are excited.
Yeah, it's been a year since you were on the podcast.
And here I am again,
And here you are again.
down in this beautiful, beautiful Florida land. It's 85 degrees here and it's 20 degrees up north. Unbelievable.
Does that make you a snowbird now?
No, not really, because I just come down to visit and I go back up north. I like it up north.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it is. I do like it, but you need a little break once in a while to come down and see something green instead of white. That's what you need.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Ah,
And it's been a tough little winter up there.
I could tell.
Tough little winter.
So tough, you guys had to send some of your coal down here.
We get that right.
It's snowing in Florida.
The fishermen are all ice fishing. They love it. Yeah.
I've always wanted to go ice fishing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They love it. I mean, they're out there fishing away. The smaller lakes, it's not Lake Erie. Lake Erie is about frozen all the way. The bay's frozen. Probably
So you can
a foot of
walk
ice.
to Canada now.
No, you don't want to walk to Canada. You want to stay off that lake. Stay off the ice domes and everything. Yeah, yeah. You want to go where it's flat and frozen. The ice domes, man, they're hollow. You fall through, you're 10 feet from the water. Fish splash, you ain't coming out.
Yeah.
So, but here we are, down here, having a little cigar, taking it easy.
Exactly. I just want to say thank you, Lugo from Old Time Cigar of Claremont. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Your selections are amazing and great service. And I just wanted to say thank you, Lugo, for the awesome service once again. You know what you're doing. So I appreciate you, Lugo. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. It's a nice smoking cigar.
How did you get into smoking cigars, by the way?
Pardon me?
How did you start smoking cigars?
How did I?
Yeah, how did it happen?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think it's someone down the road introduced me to one night, having a drink, smoking a cigar, and it just keeps on going.
Yeah.
Don't get yourself a bad cigar. Get yourself a good one. If you're going to smoke a cigar, get yourself a nice mild one to start. Mild, not a heavy, hard cigar. You want a nice mild one, smooth, and then you can just relax, have a drink with it. There you go.
You know what I think? I'm not into smoking cigarettes or anything. I think that a cigarette is like a pause in your day. And I feel like a cigar is a conversation. Because if you're smoking a cigar to relax and have a long conversation with someone. That's what I think.
Man, you might be right, because here we are.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like bourbon, though. I like bourbon with my cigar.
Well, we're back from a commercial break.
Exactly. We're back from a commercial break.
Everybody has to have a commercial break.
This is true.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about doing commercials or anything, though.
Well, we did a nice little one about the cigar place,
This is true.
That is true. A nice little cigar. And every year I come down here, I stop there and get my cigar.
It's good. That's true.
That is true. Yepper.
So how's Cellar 54 doing?
Cellar 54 is doing great. It's doing real good. Nice, good, fantastic year. Every year we're growing a little by little. One of these years we'll make it down here in the shelves of these stores down here one of these years. But it just takes a long, long time to get developed and branch out everywhere.
Are you in any grocery stores up north right now? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we're in grocery stores, the state stores, wine and spirits.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we're at other places too, so we are branching. It's just, our marketing department, it takes a long time to get a new product out there on the shelf. So, but they are working hard and doing it. So, and the winemakers making some good, fantastic wine.
Oh, trust me, I wine is something that I love wine now. I never used to like wine as much, but you guys have definitely made me a wine lover.
Oh yeah.
And how's the golf course? What's the golf course called again?
Lakeside,
Lakeside.
because it's right on the shores of Lake Erie. Yeah.
On the New York and Pennsylvania border.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all we're hanging in there with everything right now. Winter does slow everything down, but then we're over the hump a little bit. It's still cold down up there, and but the days are getting longer. I'm gonna say around the 20th of February, we'll start getting the flex in the temperature. It'll start hitting 40s and staying there, maybe down to the upper 20s at night. So you'll start seeing that March comes along. It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Up and down all the way. Well, so we're getting through the rough one. It's the first time we had a rough winter in probably a good 3 years. So, but we are getting, we're coming around out of it now. So, I
can't wait to come up there. I think if I go back to Erie, I'm not going to come back to Florida.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's not as busy.
That's what I like.
As it is down there.
That's what I like. I mean, you're going to become roommates. Just the boys will smoke a cigar every night, play some card games, and that's it.
But yeah, pretty nice up there.
Yeah.
Lower, it's not a fast pace. It's a slower pace. So
that's good for you. Everyone needs that,
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need that.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask you a question that I asked my brother. My question is, how do you know when you're dating someone?
Oh boy.
How do you know?
Well, yeah. I haven't dated somebody in I don't know how many years. It's been a long time. But I would go this way. You see somebody, they look attractive to you. You ask them out. You ask them out again. You might start leaning to dating at that point. I'm saying a second date, you're dating. Too quick?
I don't know. I don't think that's too quick. I think that it's different. All right, let me ask you this. So if I go to someone and I said, "Hey, let's go grab lunch," and we grab lunch twice, how is that date? Or do you have to say, "Hey, it's a date," and that makes it dating?
It all depends on. Let's say you're working with this person, and you say, "All right, let's go get lunch." It could be just a working relationship.
Yeah,
where you're not leaning toward a date, but a working relationship. I think is totally different. You want to communicate with a male and a female when you're working. That makes a good environment to work in. But I don't know if you want to date somebody that you're working side by side in.
I definitely wouldn't do it. They say you shouldn't crap where you eat.
So yeah, it's everybody likes it. I don't want to be You need a break once in a while. Yeah, that little break is not a break from your date, but you can't concentrate on your date when you're working. Working's different. Working is for work,
Yeah, I
not
agree.
for a relationship at that point. But you got to have a working relationship.
I agree. I
Mhm.
think that a lot of people don't know when they're dating, and that when they're dating means different things to people. So you could go out for lunch a million times, and it's not dating. And for
No,
some people, you have to say, "Hey, this is a date," so they know that it's a date.
that's when you get home, get all cleaned up, and you go on a date.
Yep, exactly. You're like, "Oh, it's a date. All right,
It's a date.
I'll pick you up at 2 o'clock."
So and today it gets harder because you take it down here. Okay, you gotta get to bed at 9:30 or so. Get up at 4. Get ready. You gotta drive through all the traffic and everything and get to work. Before you know it, you work an 8-hour shift, but actually you're working a 13-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't date during the work week.
Yeah.
So you got 2 days off at the end, maybe, or during the week, but it's a tough. It does play a big toll on a dating relationship. Work does in a bigger city where you have driving time to get to that point of work. It's becomes very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Dating, another thing is a lot of people get their relationship way back in school, maybe a little bit in high school. They could date, go to college, and they find somebody they can date there. They get out of school before you know it, that might lead to something else,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think a lot of people do find their dating mates in some type of relationship with school or something like that. I don't think they find a lot of it at work. I think I don't want to involve dating at work. I want
Separate.
to separate that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the way I look at it. Yeah. So what do you think about it?
Like what?
Where would how did you meet your wife? Here we go. See, I shifted over to his side.
I actually met her randomly
Yep.
when she was at work, but I wasn't working.
There we go. See that?
So I saw her,
Mm-hmm.
and I said to her, I said, "You have beautiful eyes." And she said, "These are contacts." Because when I saw her, those were the most beautiful eyes I had ever seen in my entire life. And so when she said, "These are contacts," I said, "Well, you have beautiful contacts." And I said, "You know what? We should get coffee sometime." And she said, "I don't drink coffee." And I said to her, I said, "The great British Empire shines always, so we can drink tea." And then she laughed, and we had tea the next day.
Hmm. Well, there you go.
So
So when would you say you were dating?
I think we were getting to know each other, like just to meet each other the first time. But when it was time to go on a date, in my head, I was like, "Hey, do you want to go on a date?" And she said yes. When we went to for tea, that was just me saying we should just have tea.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, um, I was like, "Hey, we should go on a date sometime." And we went on a date.
There you go.
What's really funny? When it was time for me to go on the date with her, I had a flat tire. I actually had 2 flat tires. And my neighbor was like, "Man, you look good. Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going on a date and I have 2 flat tires." And he was like, "Well, here's my keys to my car." And my neighbor gave me the keys to his car to go on my date.
Oh, that was nice of him. Yeah. Jeez. Very good. Yep.
I know.
And you see, now that's a different angle, than how I did, how I met my wife. Matter of fact, we went, school was pretty good size, and I really never noticed her until one time at a basketball game.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I met her and we started talking. And then I started talking a little bit more and more in school with
Mhm.
her. And it led to we, got married and kids. And that's what it all led to.
Yeah.
But that was in school. Like I was saying, ever since school, you started a relationship and it worked from there. But it was just something, she was in the same grade and everything else in high school. And it just escalated more and more from there. And that's a relationship that grew there. So we had two different ways. So I don't know. I think it took me, after I met her in the basketball game, it took me probably a couple of weeks after that. We went on a date, back then we'd go to a movie or something like that,
Mhm.
I go to a movie, okay. And, and so we just hung out like that,
And then it was a date.
And it was I didn't go too many, in school, I I was a wrestler and so, in football. And so it wasn't too much, dating during those sports,
I
but,
know.
but afterwards, yeah, in the summertime, go on a date, this and that. And it just grew from there. Yepper.
Wrestling was one of the reasons why I didn't date too.
Yeah.
Yep. I tell them like, "Hey, I'm busy. It's wrestling season."
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would tell them I was like, I don't want to. I said I'd tell them I don't want to gain any weight.
Wow. You don't know. Yeah, that's true. You got to watch your weight and everything like that. Got to watch that. You got to. Wrestling's great for. I think wrestling's a great sport. Getting off the dating, but wrestling is a great sport because it gives you self confidence in yourself. It's just you and your opponent on the other side, and you're going to do a little battling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's self discipline, and it teaches you that. It teaches you self discipline with discipline, where it gives you that little bit edge over a lot of people, where you can apply yourself.
Yes.
You don't need a crowd behind you. I can
Mm-hmm.
apply myself to whatever I'm doing. And so and it develops a lot of young kids out there.
Whenever I'm having a hard day at work, I'm always okay. I tell myself challenge accepted. Whenever the day is hard, this was challenge accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever someone doubts me, challenge accepted. I think that's something the wrestling gave me, that it makes it okay for things to be tough. I'm okay with things being tough.
Yep.
I wouldn't trade that for anything. I wouldn't trade running up the stairs a million times. I wouldn't trade running in the hot Florida sun. I wouldn't trade, wrestling in that hot wrestling room, sweaty. I wouldn't trade that for anything. I wouldn't.
Yep.
Because it's you. That's what they taught me. It's you. How much you put in, it's you.
Now, let's carry that experience you had into, okay, now you got a relationship going. Now you get married, you have a family. There's where the guy has to say, hey, this is my family. I have to give all I got toward that family. And that's how it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, oh, it's getting too tough, I want to run away. No. That's what it's all about. That's what life is about. It's raising of good good, healthy, spiritual family.
I agree. Because your
And
kids see it all.
and there's where the guy has to step up and say, this is the way it is. Not the way it was when you were a kid running wild.
Mhm.
This is the way it is. You're going to have your ups and downs in relationship, but it's how you get around it. And I think wrestling teaches that you're going to have up and downs in a split second. A split second, you relax and boom, that guy's their component scoring points against you. The same in a marriage. Sometimes you will have those up and downs, and so you have to work around it and never run from it.
Mm-hmm.
You work around it, your emotions and stuff, and you work it out, and you keep going. And that's how a relationship and the dating and all that stuff comes together. See that? The
Yeah.
circle of life.
The circle of life. Wrestling, dating, and
Yes,
working
the
hard.
circle of life. There it is. And then when you say it's all done, the kids are growing good, and the wife's having a great time, and you're having a great time, yeah, and you can sit down, have a beer or a glass of wine, whatever, and have a nice little cigar, and say, guess what? We did it.
Yes.
We did it. Look at this. Look what we have. We did it. And that's what life is. That's exactly what it is.
We did it.
Right there. When you can say, we did it.
Yeah. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and subscribe for more. Be free.